Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome back to Tom 0AD. Today we'll be looking at another Alpha 23 0AD replay commentary analysis, this time featuring the mighty Borg playing the almost as mighty Stockfish, who, don't forget, is the reigning 0AD world champion or whatever. He won that tournament. So, should be a good game. Borg will be playing as the Britons, Stockfish will be playing as the Ptolemies, both top tier civs, so why don't we have a look? So welcome to the game. We have in the north here, Borg, he'll be playing, as we've established, as the Britons, and in the south we have Stockfish, and he is playing as the Ptolemies, so it's going to be a very interesting game, I believe. So let's have a look quickly from Stockfish's perspective. So he's sent off both of his skirmishers to scout, which is an interesting move. It does slightly reduce his house building possibilities at the very start, but with it being Alpine map, although it was random, he has presumably identified from the trees that it's Alpine and from the grass as well, and that means he's looking for exactly what he's found here, goats. So those goats will make camels a must. So on the flip side, we've got Borg, who is just circling around the edge of the base. So he could have sent his dog straight in to attack the women, but he's decided instead to go round the outside to get a bit more intel on what the map looks like and where things such as key wood lines and stuff are, which is very sensible. From his perspective, from Stockfish's perspective, he can see the dog, but he's not doing anything about it. So he's happy to let him gather that information. I mean, he now knows that here and here we have a couple of serious woodlines. In fact, the only two that are likely to be used with any great extent of offering some kind of sustainable look thing. That dog is making some really interesting moves. He's still not looked at the CC, but he's really gaining a lot of information about what's in here. Let's go and have a quick look at Borg's approach at the start. So he started, fortunately for him, with goats in his own territory. So he's got no berry upgrade because he's just got the one set of berries that he's found. But interestingly, going for a very early farming upgrade, and I think there will probably be a point at which he will definitely have to get the wood cutting upgrade, but it depends on how quickly. He's looking for an early transition to farming, very early, for him, particularly with these goats here. I think if we look from Stockfish's perspective, okay, we've just missed the dog attacking the women, which you'd expect. One of the things that I think would be better in this perspective, it's something that I'll be covering in an upcoming video looking at build orders, is these houses could have been built to begin with right here, particularly against Britons, and I think that's a very important actually decision to take. Has he finally got the dog? Finally has. If you're using, as you would be to begin with, your spearmen to build the houses, which is fairly standard starting point for a Ptolemy's game, particularly like this, then if those houses had been here, right next to these women would have been the spearmen. So he would have been able to basically take out the dog very, very quickly in a fight with the spearmen, and he suffered. I mean, he didn't lose any of his troops, but he did lose time in terms of he wasn't collecting at that point. So slightly later field move than you might expect, but that is due to the fact that he's got these 7 camels that are getting the goats, which is actually getting the goat, isn't that that's actually an English idiom. I'm going to have to check that out at some point. I will check it out prior or after actually completing this commentary, and I'll put a little note up that says yes or no as to whether get your goat. I think get your goat is the idiom. It's by the by. So he's moved to, Borg's moved very, very quickly into farming. He's getting the upgrade now exactly as expected, and if we look from this perspective, we have no upgrade here, and we don't even have a storehouse yet, so certainly no upgrade there. He is making us, I'm surprised this going one by one, sorry, 2 people on 1 house is marginally quicker, but it doesn't double the speed at which you make the house, so it's a slightly inefficient way of going about it. So now let's have a look at this. Borg right in there, takes out the woman, takes out the thing, very, very good play, and leaves, doesn't even suffer a single shot. Great play the way he came straight in, killed them. Textbook, absolutely textbook. But now we have some camels around the other side, so Borg is not aware of them at this point. He needs to bring them in and get a lot of shots in before Borg notices. And will you be able to do that? These guys are the most at risk. No, those guys have immediately been taken in. And it looks like not even a tiny bit of health was lost by this woman, who's down at health of 10. With the camels, it might be worth getting Loom here, this upgrade. That extra 50% health will be really helpful. Doing a quick getting the soldiers inside the CC to increase the number of hours with arrows rather than hours is sensible, but again, from Stockfish's perspective, he's just going to get some additional information, and he needs to basically, he's taken too long. He got one, and he can take another one, but he could have got more actually from shooting a little bit further out. And you can reach those fields easily from this area, which is outside the civic centre range as well, so it's completely safe to do so. That would be, he could still be doing that. Borg hasn't made a great job of protecting. Again, why have you gone so close? Don't go so close. There's no need. The thing that the camels have in their advantage is absolutely that they have phenomenal range compared to the other ones. So, I don't think that's a good fight for Stockfish. If he were to get involved, he would lose. 1, possibly 2 camels needlessly as well. And they've actually got food. I think they're carrying 60 food, and that would be loop that would move to Borg if he were to kill him. So that's if he were to kill these camels off. So we've got, as you might expect from a top tier game, we've got a bit of a back and forth going on. You've got a slight population lead for Stockfish, which is decent, but I think that could be hit very quickly. Again, Borg coming in, is he going to do good movement? Okay, needs to should be able to take out a cavalryman or 2. This one could, again, great defense by what's happening? Is there more attack? There's more attack going on here. He needs to pull these guys out, but good play on the whole there from Stockfish, really nicely done. You see as well, he sent the most injured cavalry. Oh no, he hasn't. The most injured camel died. I was going to say he was very cleverly sent that most injured camel to heal up, but he didn't make it. And with that one, Borg gives up on his attack. So 6 kills to 4. Stockfish with a slight lead. The issue, of course, is that he doesn't only need to have a lead in population. Because of the nature of the factions, Britons are going to be much quicker to get to phase 3, and if they do get to phase 3, there's a real risk, like a very serious risk. These guys shouldn't be running away, they should be running towards them. They could take those guys out, or at least cause them to run, and be supported by some additional soldiers. But as I was saying, so if the Britons get to phase 3, the fact is that it's very, very difficult for Ptolemies to deal with the rams. They only have swordsmen that are available from the military colony, or they have elephants, and the elephants, these are just going to die. That's good defense actually to get 2 of them into that house. Well done. I don't think it would have been unreasonable actually to build this is such a big wood line, to have this defended with a tower. Might not have been the worst idea in the world. Again, these guys need to get away from the mining and get on to doing stuff, because, oh god, It's a massacre. Too slow to react, which is, it's easy to do. I mean, they're coming slightly into the Civic Centre range, but Borg doing a good job again of just keeping these things going. And what Borg has done is put these towers up, which are really, really helpful in defending against camel archers because of their range. Camel archers are far less far less able to withstand the kind of damage that these guys they take much longer to get their kills in, so you either need a hell of a lot of them, which is something I think potentially Stockfish may have looked at. It's a very interesting draw, actually, the map, in terms of, if we just have a quick look, there's a couple of goats still there, some deer, and then up here some goats. So yeah, he was unlucky. Had it gone the other way, these guys are just going to die. But the draw hasn't been kind to Stockfish in that sense. Had he been the one with the extra goats, he could easily have been completely justified in getting 10, 15 camels, and they would cause serious damage. The fact that he's chosen not to do that is just his choice. So we've got no upgrades here and no upgrades here, which is not great. And Borg has only got, is it one? Yeah, this guy's on the verge of death, but if you can pull these guys together, they might be able to get a reaction. This is very, very good harassment. Look at all these guys. Try and just get the ones that are chopping wood. Yeah, they're carrying 128 wood. That is 2, almost 3 soldiers. Oh, but it looks like he's saying enough's enough. This is the end. I'm taking out your cavalry, regardless of what it costs me. He just wants that harassment to end. And Borg appears to be happy enough to say, okay, fair enough. Let's call it a truce. So he's done that. Borg continues to get good wood lines. Borg is obviously the best player in the game. Doing this, there's a couple. This guy here should just be sent home. There's no advantage from sending that guy. He's got plenty of troops. What are these guys doing? Oh, Borg is not happy about this watchtower whatsoever. Here he comes. He's sending a decent force, and the fact that this has slinger support means that the slingers can take out this watchtower in no time at all. There's absolutely no way that that watchtower will survive. How much we can? Yeah, 119 wood. He really needs to do that. It'd be interesting to see if, it looks like he's going to just destroy it. Not so interested in taking it over, which he could have done. And one little guy on his own against 43 soldiers was always going to be a grim thing. These 4 women going out there are going to die if they're not careful. And now he starts to build defensive towers, because here we go. We've got Borg has just come to phase 2. In terms of infantry, he's well clear of Stockfish. Stockfish is not well stocked. That wasn't even an intentional pun on his name. For soldiers to try and fight this off, he's going to have to. This is the problem that you find against slingers in phase 1. They're so strong. So if you're like Stockfish still at phase 1, he can, his soldiers can very plausibly take over this tower, and that actually makes this tower a real difficulty, especially the fact that he's pulling people in. It's always, I think, useful to either have towers that cover one another, so another tower like here, for instance, within the range, because now he's just lost this tower. And that tower now becomes an absolute nightmare for him to deal with. It's no longer something that he can defend. These guys who are dead. This phase 1 slinger attacks are horrible to deal with, absolutely horrible. I think it would be helpful to move them into phase 2 for all civs, but especially for Britons. Britons are so OP anyway. So to basically say, hey, you've already got the best civilization in the game. Do you want this extra bonus as well? just seems yeah, like unnecessary. So this guy, is he going to die? He should die. He does die. But again, another tower is going to be taken down. But these guys are within. No, they're not. They're just outside the range of the civic centre. And that will be taken down. But he has got a lot of very weak soldiers now. So Stockfish still has an advantage. The only problem that he's got is in terms of his what he has available. Very little of it is. He keeps bringing these people inside. That's helpful. How many has he got? Yeah, 11 that are cusp of death types. Not that guy, for instance, but this one on 11 health. So he's reached the town phase. That's good. That has pushed Borg out a little bit because with Borg being at phase 2 and Borg having... Has he got the resources? No, he doesn't. Oh, no, he doesn't because he's just spent them building a CC. I was just about to say. He'll need a lot of resources, but he can build a CC. But that CC could have been so much closer and more deadly had phase 2 not happened when it did. We've got another civic centre going up here. What are he's building these fences to try and protect this side. That's fair enough, but I'm not convinced by it. He's not got a huge amount of people on resources, mineral resources, and at this point, I actually think the Stockfish's position is just horrible, absolutely horrible. Borg is in a fantastic position. I mean, in simple stats, yeah, Stockfish can say he's got a population bonus. He's actually got a reasonable infantry, not tremendous, but reasonable. But he's now got his main mineral resources are under fire from a tower, and so he needs those minerals to get to phase 3. But in a horrible circular argument, without being at phase 3, he's not really got any way to take down that tower. Because the only choice he's got is to try and produce slingers, and he's going to again need those mineral resources from here. So he's got some extra stone around here. That's actually pretty useful. But we're going to see this guy killed from the tower very quickly, and we've got more palisade walls going up. All this time, I'll just have a quick look. This is so serene, isn't it? After that initial kind of thing, this base is just providing the economy required. He's just producing slingers from 3 locations. There's 4 locations, including his second CC. He's got everything you'd want on the front line. Got a tower that's causing great irritation. He's got this temple, which he can use to heal up his troops. He could actually position that slightly further back, and it might have been helpful for healing up his soldiers that he already has. But it's an absolutely 100% is an attack stance from Borg, while Stockfish is already playing a very, very difficult defensive game. He's trying to get something together over here. This will be very, very helpful, but where does he get metal from? His metal here is not really accessible. There are 2 up here. Those are going to be absolutely critical. If Stockfish can get another military colony up around here and fortify it, he has access to those 2 metals, and they are going to be absolutely... Those 2 metals are pretty much going to be foundational as to whether he can survive this game, because Ptolemies just have so many of their soldiers and mercenaries. So, admittedly, one of the things that he could try and do is to build up a slinger army using the stone that he's got from over here. There's some there. If he were able to do that, he's not actually currently training anything. These towers they're causing some damage, but not enough. Nowhere near enough. And God, I mean, I understand from his perspective he can't do a lot with them, but losing that tower, which was covering this tower, and you'll notice this tower is outside the range of the civic centre. This tower is now gone, effectively. He's not got the murder holes up there because he's not at phase 3. So He could actually bring his soldiers closer, get them more of them inside this range. This tower again doesn't have the range to protect this tower. The CC doesn't, so this tower is all but gone. He may take it over. He's chosen not to take it over, but to destroy it, which is Borg's choice. But it's basically meant that, oh, is this a fort? Another temple. So Borg since has gone to phase 3, and now look, that opportunity to take this metal for Stockfish is gone. The territory, I suppose he could build around here on the border and hope to push it back that way. But Borg's in control of half the map. He's got a temple coming in, and I hope and pray I don't think he's got any swordsmen. And he not only needs swordsmen, well, he needs the metal to get the swordsman, but he hasn't got any metal because he can't take it from here. It's a master squeeze actually from Borg. Absolutely brutal, like top class work. It reminds me of a game of his that I saw and covered probably years ago now, but where he took the Mauryan elephants and basically meant that he just collected resources on the front line and then took out, if I recall correctly, Dr. Organs, but it may well have been Stockfish. But again, look at this. This is just brutal. These guys should surely be. I don't understand how these are all surviving. Has he got, like, let's have a look. No, it doesn't look like he's got any tech upgrades whatsoever. And we've got the first ram coming out. And with that, we've got a fortress. That's useful. Does he have... So gone to phase 3. He needs these, but doesn't have any metal or any great options around metal. This could just turn into a massacre. So, yeah, phase 3 has at least pushed this back, so he could certainly try and equip some metal, but it looks almost like he's basically given up on this whole area. Is this another tower going up? It is. It's interesting that he's just taking out houses with the rams, keeping them protected. He's not actually going for the civic centre yet. He'll just take these things out one by one and gradually increase his hold over this area. We have now a hero as well. So Cannibelin, again, fairly standard choice. And he's destroying fields. Interesting. This, all the time that he collects these things, it's for... Oh, he's actually chosen not to. That's interesting. I thought he would just continue to exert his dominance of this area. We've got something happening over here. Yeah, not really anything of any value. It's an effort to go around and try and do it, but the problem that he's got is he's sending all these people over here, but the real issue that he needs to be making or fighting back from is here. Good laying of foundations there. Foundation laying, so effectively quick walls, is a really good tactic. It can distract rams. It means they can't go past it. You only have to build a tiny part of it for the ram to try and end up its pathfinder getting confused, trying to find a different way around. Are they going to take this ram out? The fact there are 2 coming in a second means that it's irrelevant whether they do or not. I think this ram will go before the civic centre goes. Now I don't. Now it's done. And again, you've got your soldiers here, but they're not looking to defend. This is something. There goes the civic centre. Oh, over here we've got some things on the march. He needed to take out that CC. The elephant is going to die. He has no... is it the metal that's the issue? Yeah, he's got no metal. This whole area is going to fall under Britain's control. It's a valiant effort. I mean, effectively, the game is over at this point. I don't really think under any situation someone would think there was a way back for Stockfish. It's been brutal, and I think it does show the Borg is a better player, than Stockfish, but Stockfish is very, very good. And Stockfish had a top tier sieve as well. I think it shows the difference in quality between Britons, like the Celtic factions, and even Ptolemy's, who are the next best. I mean, these again, Ptolemy's big weakness is how do you defend against rams? It just, like, if someone gets to rams early before you've got to phase 3, you're so totally out of options. You need those swordsmen. He's got swordsmen coming now, but he doesn't have any of the resources. That's another CC going up, and I think, well, we know that Borg has seen it because of his tower. He wanted to take out that tower before, because this is no way going to be allowed to go up. Yeah, and he's given up on it there. And that, with that CC gone, got so many idle troops. He's given up. Oh, there you go. Just about to say, he's got so many idle troops, it's like he's given up. And yes, he had given up. So there we go. Wow. Just a brilliant display of aggression from Borg. The guy is just different class, and he came from a position where actually at the beginning Stockfish looked like with the camels he might be able to cause some problems. He was causing a lot of issues. They had that big dust up, and where Stockfish took out the cavalry of Borg, but you can see the scores. It's, look at that. Look at all the upgrades compared to Stockfish. We got Fertility Festival, the only one, so no economy upgrades whatsoever. So there's absolutely no way his economy could keep up. But he was forced into that position after not that long a period of time. If we look, I mean, he was always behind on economy. He was briefly ahead on military, and then if you look at the shooting up there compared to here, if we look at units, he was training more units, but in terms of killing them, always behind the curve. Captured was not really a thing. Yeah, and lost. Infantry killed. Yeah, everything. If we look at workers, that was what he was training. That's where he was ahead. It was only in women, which wasn't particularly useful for him. In terms of resources, you can see the difference from not having the upgrades. Look at how big the gap is in all of the main resources, and they had similar amounts of time to collect them. And if you look at one of the things particularly, Stockfish was collecting stone for a long time from a lot of places and still collected a third, just over a third of what Borg did, when he probably dedicated a lot more of his resource to that. It's just, yeah, one of those games that I think at the end of the day Stockfish will just have to hold his hands up and say, well done Borg, that was absolutely top class. So yeah, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Obrigado e adeus.